To understand the true depth of a woman's desire, you have to look at the most basic human instincts. Think about a hungry baby. When that child is hungry, it isn't just a minor inconvenience. It is an all-consuming physical ache that makes them cry out with everything they have. They feel a literal void, an emptiness that demands to be filled. The very second the mother begins to feed them, that frantic crying stops. It is replaced by a deep instinctive sigh of relief and a sense of total security. For a woman, the anticipation of intimacy carries that same kind of heavy biological weight. It is a craving for connection and fullness that starts long before the clothes even come off. Many men walk into the bedroom thinking only about their own mechanics, but you need to realize that for us, there is a massive world of sensation happening before you even make your move. We aren't just ready. We are experiencing a physical and emotional hunger that mirrors that same primal need for nourishment. When you are standing on the edge of that moment about to plug in your machine, her body is literally screaming for that void to be closed. It's an ache in the pit of the stomach and a tension in the hips that only one thing can satisfy. If you just rush through it, you're missing the most beautiful part of the psychology behind why we want you there in the first place. When you finally pull up a chair and listen to the truth, you'll realize that the sanctuary is not just a physical place, it is a space of high-voltage sensitivity. On our side, the moments leading up to entry are filled with a building pressure and a desperate need for that hunger to end. It's about the relief of no longer being empty. Just like that baby feels a wave of peace wash over them the moment they are fed, a woman feels a profound sense of rightness the moment you enter her. It is the transition from a restless, searching energy to a grounded, satisfied state of being. This isn't just about friction or doing the work. It's about the powerful shift in the atmosphere the second you bridge that gap. You are the answer to a physical question her body has been asking all night. Most men are so focused on their own machine and their own finish line that they never stop to appreciate the sheer intensity of what the woman is feeling as she waits for that connection. She is waiting for that click, that moment where the two of you become one and the hunger finally disappears. When you understand us, you stop treating sex like a chore and start treating it like the deep soul-satisfying meal it's meant to be. To truly understand the female experience, you have to visualize the physical state of a woman before intimacy begins. Think of a massive water tank. When it is dry, it is just a hollow, echoing void. There is a sense of being incomplete, a literal emptiness down below that is waiting for a purpose. This isn't just a physical observation, it's a biological reality. Before you make your move, that space is essentially dormant, but the very second you enter, that void is replaced by a sensation of being full in the most intense and rewarding way possible. It is the feeling of every square inch of that internal space being occupied, stretched and awakened. But your energy enter origin remembers the being very instability use now. For a woman, that transition from being empty to being filled is the peak of physical satisfaction. The physics of this connection play a massive role in how high that satisfaction goes. When a man is well built and the woman is naturally tight, the sensation of being completely plugged in becomes incredibly powerful. There is no guesswork involved. She can feel every movement because there is no dead space left. Every nerve ending is being touched at the same time, creating a feeling of total occupancy. It's like a puzzle piece finally clicking into a spot that has been vacant for too long. That tightness creates a friction and a pressure that tells her body something significant is happening here. It is a heavy, grounded feeling that commands her full attention and forces her to stay present in the moment. However, this isn't just about the physical machine entering the sanctuary. There is a deep psychological shift that happens simultaneously when a woman is with a man she genuinely loves and respects. That physical fullness instantly translates into a mental state of pure happiness. It's a feeling of safety combined with extreme pleasure because she loves you. The fact that you are the one filling that space makes it 10 times more meaningful. She isn't just being used, she is being entertained in the exact way her body and mind have been craving. The anticipation she's been carrying all day finally finds its release. That nagging empty feeling that was there before vanishes entirely, replaced by a surge of dopamine and a sense of rightness that settles deep in her soul. When everything fits perfectly, it creates a harmony that is hard to describe but impossible to ignore. Suddenly, the world outside doesn't matter because her entire being is focused on the sensation of being whole. The fullness acts as a bridge between the physical act and the emotional bond. She feels seen, she feels desired, and most importantly, she feels complete. Every stroke and every movement reinforces that feeling of being totally occupied by you. This is why women get so attached, because you aren't just performing a task, you are transforming her state of being from a hollow tank into a filled, overflowing sanctuary. When you understand that this fullness is what she's really after, you realize how important your presence and your size are to her overall sense of well-being and joy. When you are finally inside, the experience shifts from the high-energy excitement of the entry to something much deeper and more profound, a state of incredible radiant warmth. This isn't just a surface-level heat, it is a deep internal temperature that originates from the very core of her being. To understand us, you have to think about the most secure environment in existence, the womb. Just as a baby feels perfectly safe, sheltered, and warm in their mother's womb, a woman feels that exact same level of primal comfort when you are nestled within her sanctuary. It is an all-encompassing heat that wraps around you, creating a private world where nothing else exists. This internal climate is so powerful that it can make the outside world completely disappear. As a man, you will notice this shift immediately. You will feel her honeypot pulsing with a natural living heat that is unlike anything else. This sensation becomes even more intense during the cold seasons like the winter months or the dry chill of the harmattan. When the air outside is biting and cold, that internal warmth becomes a literal refuge. It's like stepping into a warm house after being out in a storm. For the woman, having that space filled by your natural heat creates a soothing sedative effect. The tension she was holding in her shoulders, her back, and her hips starts to melt away. She begins to feel a sense of calm that is almost hypnotic as her body recognizes that the connection is finally complete. This is the stage where the grinding becomes something much more than just a physical movement. When you are moving naturally skin to skin without any distractions or artificial barriers, the bond becomes so intense that it feels magnetic. There is a natural quantum to the energy being exchanged. You'll notice that she might become very quiet or still, but don't mistake that for boredom. It is actually the opposite. She is settling into a perfect natural rhythm where her body and yours are finally communicating on the same frequency. She is absorbing your strength and your heat while you are being enveloped by her softness and her warmth. It is a feedback loop of comfort that builds a massive amount of intimacy in a very short amount of time. Everything about this moment feels right because it settles into a flow that doesn't need to be forced. You will find that you don't even want to stop. You want to continue that coming body movement because the sensation is so grounding. The friction creates more heat, and that heat creates more relaxation, leading to a cycle of pure, unadulterated entertainment. It is the ultimate bonding experience, where the two of you aren't just performing an act, but are actually merging into a single warm and quiet unit. That internal calm is the sign that she is fully satisfied with your presence, allowing her to let go of everything else and just be with you in that natural heated rhythm. If you want to master the art of intimacy, you have to stop listening with just your ears and start listening with your soul. Pay close attention to the noise because a woman's voice is the ultimate GPS for your performance. When you are in the middle of foreplay, the sounds she makes are usually soft and rhythmic. But the moment that stick is about to enter her sanctuary, everything changes. The tone shifts from gentle appreciation to a raw, urgent demand. Those moans become louder, deeper, and more frequent. This isn't just background music or something she is doing for show. It is a biological signal from her nervous system. It is her body's way of broadcasting that her levels of arousal have hit the peak, and she is physically begging for that final connection to happen. These sounds are your green light. They are the evidence that her internal engine is fully revved up and ready for the action to begin. When you hear that specific vibration in her voice, that breathless, heavy sound, it means she is fully lubricated. Her muscles are relaxed and her mind is 100% focused on you. If you are observant, you will see her reactions coming out in waves. She might arch her back, Her breathing might become ragged, and her vocalizations will start to match the rhythm of your movements. These are the noises of readiness that tell you the preparation phase is over and the real entertainment is about to start. If you ignore these sounds, you are missing the most important communication she is giving you. In fact, for many women, the hunger becomes so intense that they lose all patience. When the noise reaches a certain volume, she might not even wait for you to make the move yourself. She will take matters into her own hands. Literally, she might reach down, grab your machine, and plug it inside her sanctuary herself because she feels like you are wasting precious time. In her mind, the talking and the teasing have done their job, and now her body is screaming for fulfillment. There is no time to waste when that level of heat is generated. She is so prepared and so ready that every second you spend going around feels like an eternity to her. Understanding this vocal shift is what separates the amateurs from the pros. When you hear those urgent noises, you need to know that you have successfully opened the door. Those sounds are her way of showing you how prepared she is to receive you. It is a moment of total vulnerability and total readiness. When she makes that specific noise as you are about to insert, she is telling you that she is wide open both physically and emotionally, and she wants you to take charge. So don't just rush in blindly. Listen to the frequency of her voice. Let her sounds guide your speed and your depth, because when you follow the sound of readiness, you ensure that the experience is perfectly timed for both of you. To wrap your head around the full experience, you have to understand that the entry isn't just the beginning, it is the moment that sets the entire tone for the rest of the encounter. The speed at which you choose to enter her sanctuary dictates the exact type of pleasure she is going to feel. And as a man, you need to be intentional about this. There is a massive world of difference between a fast, powerful entry and a slow motion slide. When you go for that fast initial gag style of entry, you are hitting her system with a sudden high voltage shock of pleasure. It creates a sharp, intense sweetness that floods her nerves all at once. It's like a burst of instant entertainment that catches her breath and forces her body to react immediately. For many women, that sudden fullness is exactly the kind of jolt they need to switch their brains off and dive headfirst into the physical sensation. On the flip side, when you choose to enter in slow motion, you are playing a completely different game of intimacy. A slow entry isn't about the shock, it's about the build-up. It allows her to feel every single millimeter of your machine as it moves inside her. This builds a heavy, thick kind of tension that makes her wait and wonder when you're finally going to be all the way in. It's a teasing, agonizingly beautiful process where she can feel the warmth spreading and the muscles stretching to accommodate you. This slow motion approach turns the act into a conversation where every inch deeper is a new layer of connection. It builds a level of intimacy that a fast entry simply can't reach because it forces both of you to be present and patient, savoring the natural quantum of the moment. Every woman you deal with is going to be different, and even the same woman might want a different speed depending on her mood that day. Some days she might be craving that fast, aggressive plug-in because she's been thinking about it all day and her hunger is at a breaking point. Other days she might want that slow, deep and steady glide that makes her feel every bit of your presence. Both styles offer their own unique kind of pleasure, and the best men know how to read her body to decide which one to use. The reality of what we feel on the receiving end is a mix of these two worlds, the thrill of the speed and the comfort of the depth. Ultimately, you have to realize that this is so much more than just a physical act or a mechanical movement. Whether you go fast or slow, the end goal is always the same. It's about her being completely filled, deeply warmed, and totally satisfied. When you master the speed and sensation, you aren't just plugging in. You are providing a complete emotional and physical meal that leaves her feeling whole. That initial moment of entry is your chance to show her that you know exactly what she needs. By being direct and intentional with your speed, you turn a simple act into a masterpiece of entertainment that keeps her coming back for more. Because she knows that with you, every sensation is handled with purpose and